What's up, guys? Welcome, Crypto FUD. Let's jump right into this. All right, so just a short, quick video on ICP. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big bull in ICP, definitely invested in it. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Obviously, you should always do that because I'm not giving out financial advice. But looking at the charts for ICP, so if you guys checked out the last couple videos, I did put a nice buy zone for myself under the 200-day moving average. It's definitely stayed under the 200-day for the last, like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days it's been now since the 23rd. So it's been about, 3 days now that we've had a nice little dip where we moved under the 200-day moving. Before, if you see, we were pretty much not bouncing off the 200-day. So there's the 200-day right here, and then there's a line that I drew. This was probably like 2 weeks ago that I put this line, and I'll show you this in a minute why I have it here. But the 200-day, we weren't necessarily bouncing off the 200-day, but we were staying around it. We definitely did jump above the 200-day for a period of time, and we did bounce right here clean off the 200-day where it looked like we were possibly going to be moving up towards a new high or maybe getting towards these other highs, but it definitely did not make it there. And it's because the market as a whole hasn't been doing good. So the last few days definitely been under the 200-day, which to me is a good time where I don't necessarily right when we get under the 200-day. I'm not like just going all in or buying. But what I've been doing is I've been watching it, and I drew this line right here, and I'm going to show you guys. So this line right here that I drew is basically a line that I've noticed that we, even before we really got in, this was before the massive dip like 6 months ago. We were using it as support before we dropped down. It actually became, oh, that's a different line. So this one, because I have two lines drawn right here. So this first line up here was where it was basically support for a while. Even when we went through this like bottom, we definitely went under the line, but we made it over, use it as support. Didn't use this necessarily. There was a couple times where we did bounce exactly off this line, more than a couple, probably like 10 times we bounced off this line. So I put it down because it is a line of support. But if you see where we're at right now, we technically are about to be retesting it, and that's going to be somewhere around the $4.85. We currently are sitting at $4.84, so right below that line. So what I'm getting to, two things when I'm looking at just this small little 2-day chart right here. One is it looks like we formed a W pattern. A lot of times W patterns will move to the upside. Sometimes they're very short-lived. Sometimes they don't even move anything. But a lot of times, I'd say probably 80% of the time, if you see a W pattern, it'll usually have some kind of an upward movement, and vice versa. If it's an M, like a double top, you'll usually see some downward movement. So we definitely are about to retest this 485 line that I have drawn in the sand. If we get rejected, we're probably going to maybe bounce back down to where we found some local support somewhere around $4.77, 76 cents. That's usually where I've been just buying in. I get little small increments whenever we drop down there. If we keep retesting that level, though, we are going to bounce back down. And that's why I have this other line. This line right here is going to be the line in the sand where we have to hold if we're going to stay bullish. You know, me personally, I'm in this for the long run, so I'm not even really like if we were to drop down to this line, obviously I'm going to be buying in. If we break this line and for whatever reason we go under this line, which would be $4 and we'll call it $4.53, right? If we break that line, that's when I'm really going to be buying in big chunks because I know that's a crazy buy-in opportunity for myself. Remember, I bought in down here at like $3.70, $3.80. So if we're going down somewhere under the $4.50, I'm definitely going to be buying in. This bottom line right here, if you can see, it definitely was some resistance before, bounced a couple times, had to retest it before it broke. And if you can see, we did have a nice bounce when we made that first local high. We bounced almost exactly at that line, the same exact line right here that I have drawn. So pretty much in between these two blue lines, I'm watching because I'm definitely just buying in small increments, small increments, small increments. As long as we stay within that channel right there. We technically are still in the channel right now, but I want to see if we're going to retest that 485 and if we're going to actually break through it with this W pattern that we formed. So that's pretty much it, guys. Right now, like I said, I'm bullish on ICP long term. Short term, I think we might have some more pain in the market. Bitcoin right now is sitting at 26,400 and a little bit more than that, like 26,440. It's struggled to get past that 27,000 and stay above it. Usually, like I said, it just, those are signs that we're usually going to have not like a crazy crash or anything like that. I mean, we did have a dip down to 25,900. That could have been the dip that we were looking for. Or we could have a little bit more pain in the market where we're, like I said, we possibly could be testing 24,500 is the spot where I have where we possibly need to touch for us to really get that movement back up. So, and with that being said, everything else like ICP, that'll be bringing us down probably to that 450, maybe a little bit under this line briefly before we move back up. So make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel so you guys can get instant updates whenever I do post videos. Other than that, thank you guys so much.